At some point, I must have eaten a Texas-style brisket that was so good, I just decided it was time to start wearing cowboy boots. Now, I can't lie, this style hasn't always been my jam, but in recent years, maybe a bit of nostalgia for growing up in the Southern California desert, I've started picking up more and more cowboy boots. And I gotta be honest with you, I am loving them. So when I saw the Chisos No. 5 snip toe boot, I literally made a noise at my computer. It was something like, I resisted the urge, but I knew it was only a matter of time. Anyway, I own the Chisos No. 5 snip toe now, and I also own the Chisos No. 1, and what I got wasn't exactly what I was expecting. Chisos is a modern cowboy boot brand founded in 2019 by Will Roman. Unlike a lot of cowboy boot brands, they have a pretty pared back selection of styles. You got your standard cowboy boot, you got your square toe, you got your snip toe, a roper, plus there are 2 styles for the ladies. And of those styles I mentioned, they carry basically a maximum of 3 leathers. So there is the magic black, the brush brown, and the rough out. Chisos has recently released their styles in ostrich leathers, and if you keep up with them, every once in a while they drop an exotic like gator boots, but those go really, really quickly. This is a small, bootstrapped, Texas-loving, Texas-based company, and I gotta say, Chisos, they're a really easy brand to root for. So this style right here is what drew me to Chisos in the first place. Chisos offers the No. 5 in 3 leathers. Again, that is the magic black, the brush brown, and the rough out, which is what I have here. I went with this because I was looking for something that was sharp, but I could wear with pretty much anything, and this to me fit the bill. Now there's a nice contrasting white stitch bug on the vamp, plus the cool stylized steer skull on the front part of the shaft, and there's also a sun and diamonds on the back. Now while most people never really see the skull or the diamonds, it's one of those details that I absolutely love, and I feel like it elevates this boot from being a great looking boot to a truly one of a kind. What I was most interested in though was the snip toe shape. I've owned a few pairs of square toes, and the almond toe right here is my favorite style for a cowboy boot, but the snip toe is undeniably cool. They're not for everyone, especially because the sizing can be difficult, which I'll talk about a little bit later, but man, do these look good. Ultimately, I don't think this look is for me personally. The Chisos No. 1, this one right here, is more of my jam. Still, I cannot and I will not deny how cool these boots look. This is a full grain rough out leather, which is typically more rugged and scratch resistant than having the flesh side out. Basically, this is the reverse side of a smooth leather, and that comes with its own pros and cons. On the plus side, you don't really need to do anything to care for rough out leather, and I love how rough out ages. I wouldn't ever purposely scuff up my boots because that's lame, but once they go through their paces, rough out gets a certain patina to it that's truly remarkable. I'm excited to get to that stage already. On the negative side, if you do get some marks on your boots, it's not quite as easy to remove as standard smooth full grain leather. You can use a suede eraser and a suede brush to get stains out, but I've noticed with rough out, there's nothing you can do to polish it up and restore the original look of the boots. Now, if you want a boot that you can still wear to a wedding 2 or 3 years from now, then I would go with the magic black leather. Even if you put those things through the ringer, you can always polish them back up and they'll look pretty much as good as new years from now. But with rough out, it's best just to enjoy the journey, the age, and the patina as you wear them. At least that's what I think, and that's how I'm treating my Chisos No. 5. I'm gonna let them wear their battle scars. Also, these boots are lined with a soft red leather lining. The lining runs through the entire boot, so they're not skimping at the toes like a lot of other brands do. That's great news for comfort and for durability. So this is gonna get a bit technical, but there are some really important things you need to know about how Chisos are constructed. Otherwise, you might miss why they cost over $500 and why that's still a fantastic price. So vegetable tan leather is basically the gold standard. Most leather is chrome tanned, which can be soft, and it's certainly more cost effective, but vegetable tan leather has the richest depth of color, it has greater durability, and it also offers the most support when it is used in the construction of a boot. And Chisos uses veg tan leather throughout the entirety of the boot. Both the insole and the outsole are veg tan leather, plus, and this isn't common, the heel counter, which is under this part, is also veg tan leather. If you've ever had a heel cave in when you're taking your boots off with a jack and they never fit right again, that's because that bootmaker in question was probably using a fiberboard heel counter. Fiberboard heels are more common than you would expect, but with the veg tan heel counter, it's gonna stay firm while also breaking in slowly, so you eventually get a boot heel that feels like it was specially designed for your foot. And the same goes for the insole on the Chisos. As you break the insole in, it only gets more and more comfortable. While Chisos ships their boots with a removable high-density foam footbed, I actually take mine out. I found the fit more comfortable that way, and I also like breaking in the leather insole and getting that custom fit feeling. Now, Chisos uses a Goodyear welt construction method, so these can be resoled if you ever need to add a new outsole. You know, this part can wear through, you can definitely add a new one. The insole and outsole, these are also attached with lemon wood pegs and brass clinch nails. There is a steel shank, which is pretty common, but it's definitely necessary if you're wearing a boot with such a high heel. So for me, the fit on the snip toe was a bit tricky. There's not a lot of toe room on the snip, as you can see. I basically get a size 10.5 with my sneakers, so I got a 10.5 in my Chisos number 5. With the removable inserts, I found the fit to be too tight in the vamp. An 11 probably would have been better for me. That said, when I take the foam inserts out, the fit is perfect. And honestly, as I mentioned above, I prefer to break in the leather insole and have the reward of that custom fit feeling you get once your feet press into the veg tan leather. So that actually wasn't a problem for me. So I know I said that the number 5 is what drew me to Chisos, but the number 1 is probably, it's one of definitely my most worn boots in the past 6 months. As you can see, it's getting a little flat right here. I've definitely been breaking it in. So I'm relatively new to cowboy boots, but these are truly exceptional, not just for cowboy boots, but in the broad scope of all the boots I've worn, which is over 100, by the way. So we've got lots of reviews here on the channel. Seen a lot of boots. This one is exceptional. The Chisos number 1 is more of a standard cowboy boot that has the almond shaped toe with the cowboy heel. And my favorite part is the day and night stitching around the shaft. Again, I think that just makes it such a special boot. I'm not sure exactly what kind of leather is on the Chisos number 1, but I do like the marbled effect of the brushed brown leather. My only regret is that I also don't have a magic black pair. That's such a good looking boot too, but sometimes you gotta make the hard choices, and for me, brushed brown, it's a winner. The leather is really high quality. It's soft, it's supple, it's been breaking in really nicely, and I think like even the creases are great. So it's decently thick. I think it's a 4-ounce leather, so it's got a great balance between comfort and durability. I haven't conditioned these yet, but Chisos also sent along a bottle of conditioner, which I'll use when the time comes. I personally like to give my boots about a year before conditioning them. That lets them build a bit of patina, and I'm not trying to keep them too clean, so that's just what I do. The sole is built the same way on the 1 as it is the 5. The lemonwood pegs, brass clinch nails, Goodyear welt. Overall, it's a really solid construction and traditional too. I'm not a huge fan of rubber-soled cowboy boots. This has a leather sole right here. There's nothing wrong with a rubber sole. In fact, it's probably better for comfort and traction, but to me, it's just not as cool, and that's just one man's opinion though. Just like with the number 5, the insole on the number 1 gets more comfortable as you break it in. And at this point, mine are fully broken in. Same thing I said with the number 5 is true of the number 1. To me, it was a bit tight on the vamp, like at the top of my foot, a bit too tight, but once I removed that foam footbed, it fit great for me. So I got the 10.5, that is my normal sneaker size. Fits great when I remove that insole or when I remove the footbed. But if you want to leave that footbed in there and have more squish, for lack of a better word, then I would size up a half size. I will say, in terms of breaking in, Chisos number 1 has been comfortable since the very beginning. I've been testing several cowboy boot brands in the past year, and Chisos is one of my top 2. Tecovas is the other. But each, to me, fills a different role. Tecovas is definitely more affordable. They're a little over half the price of Chisos. So if you're just looking to get into your first pair of cowboy boots, then Tecovas might be a safer bet. Plus, they have some more leather colors and styles available. That said, and trust me on this, you'll eventually want a really nice pair of cowboy boots. So you're gonna come back around to the high end anyway. I really don't think there's a better value on the high end than Chisos. Not that I've seen anyway. A lot of people compare their Chisos to Lucchese. Style and quality wise, I agree, but the price is much lower than Lucchese, so to me, value for your money is exceptional with Chisos. At Tecovas, they make a great boot, and I'm really glad I have mine, but now that I have a pair of Chisos, that tends to be what I'm reaching for most days. Chisos offers the best value for high-end cowboy boots. The amount of vegetable tan leather they pack into their boots is something you normally only see in cowboy boots that cost 20 to 30% more. To me, Chisos are comfortable, durable, and I love the traditional craftsmanship behind them. While there's a limited number of leather colors and styles available right now, Chisos has done a good job of hitting the spread and offering a little something for everyone. If you're ready to get a high-quality pair of cowboy boots, then I highly recommend Chisos.